everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I made it out onto Dartmoor, the weather permitted. It's absolutely glorious. I'm at Aish Tor on the hunt for one of our rarest butterflies, the High Brown Fritillary. They should be flying now. Fingers crossed, but nothing yet, and there's not been many reports of them being out and about, not here anyway, but as you can see, it's like a needle in a haystack. Fantastic area, absolutely ideal for them, dense bracken habitat, perfect for them, and it is one of the best places to see them. There's only a handful really now in the country. One Exmoor, I think South Wales, one in the northwest I think, but it's had a 96% decline in numbers since the 1950s. So it really was on the brink, but again with careful habitat management, it's doing well in certain areas. So that's good news. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, see if we get lucky. So no sign yet. Seen some small pearl bordered fritillaries, they're found here as well. No photo opportunities, they were in flight, whizzing about, but no high browns, not yet. The males should be flying by now, but it's been a funny season so far with the wet weather. Spring has been very wet. So the high brown lays their eggs on the ground, mostly on dead bracken, close to their food plant, which is the common dog violet. It's got its own microclimate down there, so the eggs overwinter and hatch in the spring, spend a lot of their time basking before they pupate and emerge, which should be now. But nothing yet, nothing yet. We've seen a lovely green hair streak, beautiful butterfly, a large skipper as well, I think it was. But yeah, the high brown is one of our largest fritillaries, along with the dark green fritillary and the silver washed. Spectacular butterflies, powerful flyers, and that's the other thing, is they don't settle very often. Settling on brambles which grow in between the bracken and thistles is your best chance of catching them. But it's ideal conditions, so we'll keep going. Still no sign. I did bump into a butterfly surveyor, seem to bump into those quite regularly. And he said it could be a tad early here, but should be any day now, should be any day. But no sign yet. But it's absolutely stunning here, really, really fantastic place. But it is like a minefield. But we'll keep going. Sadly, no joy, but everyone I've spoken to today is in agreement that it's probably a tad too early, maybe a week or two. So, gonna have to come back. But in order for the high brown to thrive, it does rely on the common dog violet to be in abundance. So where the bracken is growing high, needs to be grazed or needs to be bashed, bracken bashing, to create spaces for the common dog violet to grow. Otherwise, yeah, it's no good. They'll disappear. But you know, it is happening here, so it's really good news. But I think sadly, yeah, we are a tad early. But if the weather carries on like this, next week or two, I think they should be flying. But it's been lovely, been a lovely morning. We've got some species, green hair streak and a large skipper, amongst others. So it's been lovely now, and fantastic weather, fantastic place. So it's been 2 weeks. We're back at Aish Tor. The fritillaries are flying. Was here quite early. It was sunny, but cool, very cool, and it's taken a good few hours to warm up. It's warmed up quite considerably now, and we have the large fritillaries flying. There's been quite a few. Whether they're all high browns, I don't know, because dark green fritillary flies here too. But we did have one settle. He was deep in the bracken, quite a way off, but I did manage to get a shot of it. And here comes the tricky part. Identifying, especially with the wings open, is quite hard to distinguish from the dark green fritillary. But there is a way. The third spot in from the tip of the wing on the high brown is indented, it's slightly offline, whereas the dark green, there's another one flying. Who's flying this way? Oh no. He's just flown past me. Sorry, yeah, they're the dark green fritillary, the spot is in line. I'm 99% sure it was a high brown. So I'm delighted. That's only the second one I've ever seen. The first one I saw was about 5 years ago. So, chuffed to bits. It's, yeah, as I say, it's really warmed up quite a bit now. It's quite overcast, but we've got some sunshine breaking through, and it is warmed up quite a lot. So they are active, very active, and they are so fast and so powerful flying. And trying to catch them settling is really difficult, but I've been staking out an area here. Just behind me there's a patch of bramble blossom, which they like to nectar on. So I'm hoping we might get one come in. You never know. But we've seen them, so delighted, absolutely delighted. So I was a bit early last time, but I think we timed it all right. We'll keep trying. So there we are, we've had none settle, quite a few flying through, breakneck speeds. They've warmed up quite considerably now. I can see another one flying over the top of the bracken. They're so fast, it's sometimes difficult to keep up with them. You just lose them. Incredible, amazing to watch. But yeah, they've warmed up so much now, they're just hyper. Oh, there goes another one. Amazing. Oh, it's great to see them here in good numbers. I mean, it's impossible to identify them in flight. There's no guarantees. Obviously, they're all high browns, could be dark greens, but we have a picture, we have a shot, not the best shot, and I'm 99% sure it's a high brown. The only other ID tip is obviously where the wing's closed on the high brown. On the underside it has 3 red eye rings, which the dark green lacks. That's the best way of IDing it. Otherwise it's the third spot from the tip of the wing is slightly indented on the high brown and completely in line on the dark green. But it's been brilliant. I'm just chuffed to bits to see them. Glad I came back, even if it was only one brief one. I mean, it was earlier on, so it was a bit cooler, hadn't quite warmed up. So, oh, there's two chasing each other around now. Oh no. What can you do? It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, Aish Tor, below Aish Tor is one of the best sites for them, and they are doing really well here. There's only 4 or 5 places, I think, in the UK. So it's a delicate, fragile butterfly in terms of its survival. But thank goodness they're doing well here. And Heddon Valley, I think, on Exmoor is another good place. Here we are again, back at Aish Tor for my final day in pursuit of the High Brown Fritillary. I did come in between and I was lucky enough, I was here quite early and I was able to catch a High Brown, catching the early morning rays out in the open, with both wings open and wings closed. So I was absolutely delighted with that. It was a tricky one because the third spot in from the tip of the wing was almost absent. It wasn't clear at all. It was almost not there. It was very, very faint, but with the wings closed, definitely high brown. So I was delighted with that. I didn't do any filming that day because there were a lot of people here. There was an organised party of butterfly watchers, so there was quite a lot of people about. So didn't get any filming done that day, but we've come back. We've got a mixed bag today. It's sunshine and showers, so I'm hoping to. It's nice at the moment. It's about 8 o'clock now, so hoping we can catch some early ones, catching some rays. No dark green fritillaries though as of yet, but yeah, they all seem to be high browns, which is good news. But it'd be nice to catch a dark green, and hopefully the females will be emerging, so fingers crossed for that. So we're going to try and get it in between the showers. We've got some warm sunshine in between, so fingers crossed. So the one we had on the ground was slightly battered, not the best specimen, but he went up onto the brambles to refuel, so that was good. That was the first. Then we had another one come in, much better specimen. Also did a bit of nectaring, so that was really pleasing. Chuffed to bits. It's nice and sunny, but it's really windy. But there has been a few flying around. As I say, we've had 1 or 2 come in for the brambles, which is brilliant. But the best time to really catch them, to photograph them at least, is early on or later in the day when it's not too warm. Once it gets too hot, they're on the go pretty much all the time. And if you scan the top of the bracken, they're really easy to pick out when they're basking, because they're just bright orange with the wings open. Not so much when the wings are closed, they blend in really well then. Much more difficult, but when the wings are open, it's quite easy to see them. And binoculars are always useful, just to scan around. But yeah, I've been lucky so far. We've had a couple of showers, but nothing too bad. Oh, there's another one. Oh, he's landed. See if I can get hold of him. So I'll just talk briefly about the settings I'm using on the Canon R7 with the, goes another one, with the RF100-500 lens. I've got it on manual. I use manual mostly, and I've got it set on servo, so as long as the button's pressed, the subject will always stay in focus. I'm using back button focus, by the way. 2 buttons actually. The AF on button I'm using with eye detection. It's not too bad for butterflies. And the star button I'm using small focus area with animal tracking turned off. So it will always stay in that area, that small area that you've got on. It will always stay in that area, it won't jump off. Whereas eye detection can jump off occasionally. So around about f8, try and get everything sharp as possible, obviously depending on the light. But this lens, it's an absolutely amazing lens, but its max aperture at 500mm is only f7.1. Its widest at 4.5 at 100mm, so it's not the best in poor light, but in good light it's astounding. Absolutely incredible lens. It's my go-to lens. It's rarely off the camera. So auto ISO, and I can adjust the shutter speed. It's normally around about 1,000th of a second, because even when the butterflies have landed, they're moving around most of the time. So at least 1,000th of a second, sometimes more, so I can adjust that. And it's on a tripod, so I can lower the shutter speed down if I need to. If the light goes, I can lower that to down to about between 200 and 500. Keep it as still as I can on the tripod. So yeah, that's the main settings really that I use for butterflies. So it's time to say goodbye to Aish Tor, sadly, but it's been an amazing few days, absolutely incredible. No dark greens, but that's okay. Nationally they're a lot more commoner than the high browns. We've seen high browns, that's the main thing. Today's been probably the best day in terms of photo opportunities. I've had quite a few come down nectaring, so that's what I wanted to see. So that's today. I'm surprised because I was expecting a lot more rains, but we've had some long sunny spells. It's been quite warm but windy, so I wasn't expecting too much, but it's been the best day really. Fantastic. So I will return here. I mean, got to keep checking on the high browns, and it's great to see them here. Long may it continue. Met some lovely people. Special thanks to John and Mel and their lovely dog Finley. You're great company. It's a shame your decoys didn't work out too well, but it was a great effort anyway. It's been lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks ever so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks again.